Everybody be quiet. Okay. This is called the fried liver. E5. E4, I'm sorry. E5, right? Knight to F3, right? You're attacking this pawn. Now, Paul Morphy had played a game to where he doesn't use this pawn, this knight here to protect this pawn. He actually plays his games like this to protect. You can do all kind of protections. You can protect a lot of ways. Is this a good way, class?
No.
Why?
No. Because you're blocking all sorts of pawns.
Like what? What pawn am I blocking? No, just say.
D7.
I'm blocking the D7 pawn?
Yes.
Yes. And what does the D7 pawn block?
D7. The bishop. C.
Bishop.
White bishop. C.
Yes.
C8. White bishop.
Right. The bishop on C8. That's what it's blocking. It doesn't have anywhere to go. Okay. Now, knight goes here to protect this pawn because this pawn can be taken. Bobby Fischer uses this move all the time. And this is it's called a Spanish opening, right? Okay. And right now you're attacking this pawn with one piece. Now it's black to play. Black plays here. And he opens up for it to transpose into the fried liver. And here's the fried liver attack. Now you're attacking this pawn. Attacking to call check with the pawn. But this is not a smart move to call check with the knight. You know why? Because knights are long range pieces. They work long range. Excuse me. Bishops are long range pieces. Knights are quirky. They have to be there. So the knight had to move from here to here. So it took two moves to get there. The bishop already attacks it in one move. So if you go here and call check, and the bishop is a long range piece, now you're using the bishop for a short range piece, right? So you have to move out of check, right? And say he moves anything like this here. And here's the mistake right here. He attacks this piece. Now what you do is you always remove the defender. You want to get this piece. This piece is protecting this piece, so you can't take. You attack this piece, and now this piece is defending this piece. So if it moves, you take. Right? So you actually win a piece. Now if you move this piece back, you take here. Now you got into this problem for using a long range piece for short range. Now what if you go this way? What if you use the short range piece for short range attacks like this? Now you're attacking the queen and the
rook.
And what do they call that?
Fork.
They call it a fork. Okay, you know what a fork is, Chase?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so now he's forked. So what do you have? What would you do? Move, what would you move? Nobody comes up here, okay? What would you move?
The queen.
You would move the queen. Why not just keep the queen here and move the rook?
Because the queen is worth
The queen
9.
is more. Right. Say it again.
The queen is worth 9 and the rook is worth 5.
The rook is worth 5. So it's better off to just give up the 5 instead of the 9, right? And move the queen out the way. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to play this other game. And it was done by Paul Morphy. And I'm going to show you. E4, E5, Knight f3. Oh, moving too many pieces. Okay, I'll go knight f3, attacking this pawn, and the pawn protects. The pawn goes d6, protecting this. Now, this is very tricky in here when you push the pawn. When you push pawn, when you go d4, if something else is done, like for instance, knight c6. If knight c6 is done, you can take. Okay. Now, if the pawn takes, you take the queen. And then so the knight would have to go back. So, if the pawn takes this way, you take the queen. If the knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, queen takes queen. Now you can't castle, king takes queen. And this is how it's going to look. So what I want you to do, class, I want you to imagine it looking like this without moving anything. Can you imagine right now it looking like this? The way I showed you with the queen there and all that off the exchange. So what happens, black is very, very clever here. What black does, black moves the bishop here. So now when white takes, and expecting for black to take back, and you take the queen, and the queen takes, and it can't the king takes, and it can't castle. Once white takes, once white takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes knight because it's pinned. The knight is pinned to the queen, so takes the knight. Would it be wise to take here?
No.
Why?
You're opening up a lot of space.
No, that's not the...
Blocking in a lot of space. You're blocking that pawn in a...
So they call that a double pawn structure. So when you have a double pawn structure, the pawns in the back can't move until the pawns in the front move. So actually the pawns in the front, if the pawns in the front don't move, the pawns they're being held back by the pawns in the front. I know a lot of situations like that. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to here. Pawn takes, black to play. Bishop takes knight. Now, it's attacking the queen, so you have to address that immediately, right? So the first thing you do, you take with the queen. Now, this pawn is scot free to take without worrying about the queen exchange. You see? That's pretty good, huh? Now, look, this is what Paul Morphy did. Paul Morphy had plans. Paul Morphy wants to go for the checkmate. So now Paul Morphy is going for checkmate in one. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. See the checkmate in one?
Yeah.
If you don't do anything about that, that's checkmate. Can't move here, can't move here. That's just straight checkmate, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to do something fast. What would you do? Go ahead. There's this name, call a square. Call the square out.
Queen to F6.
Queen to F6. Now, I played plenty of games like that because I was trying to go through that game, through that opening. But Queen F6 is actually a blunder. I won the game good behind that. The first thing, when Queen went to F6, what I did, we wants to trade queens to stop all this attack right here for the checkmate. And he blocks. want to trade queens. But all you have to do is simply move way over here. Right? Now you're attacking this here. You see that? You attack this, and the next move you can take this. You see that? It's pretty tough. Okay, so it's not good to do that. Okay, so what about this here? Knight. You want to develop, you want to try to castle, because if this was castle, you wouldn't have that problem, right? You can't have that problem if this was castle. So you have to get your pieces out. So you want to get your pieces out as fast as possible. One way to get it out, you interpose, call it a block, interpose. You block with the knight. So you're blocking the piece. But this is what white does anyway. White moves there anyway, attacking this. So what do? You move here. Just like that. When he moves there, he still wants to trade queens. He wants to trade queens with a check there. You trade queens and you don't have to attack anymore. Okay? So, what do? As white, you prevent that. That means if he comes here this time, all you have to do is go here, check. He moves over, and then you have another check right here. You know, and that's and then you get out of harm's way. So, don't want to do that. Okay, so he moves there. Now it's black to play. So black does this to prevent me from coming here to take this piece. See, because the pawn blocks it. If I come here, I take this piece. So it's so simple to go here, and it's protecting the piece. And the next move is going to try to pawn storm. And remember I was talking about a pawn chain? Then you can get a pawn chain. The next move, it wants to come here. White doesn't care. White knows it wants to come here. But white goes ahead and pin. Pin the knight. So the knight can't move to take this piece. It'll lose the queen. See, if it moves, take that, lose the queen. Okay. So the next move would be here. No, a better move would be here. Because it releases the pin. So what would black do?
Lose the queen?
No, well, I guess it'd just be better to just go ahead and immediately attack. Because what you're doing, you're attacking that. So what would you do then?
Take.
Take what? Take? You're gonna take this pawn? Sound good.
Take up there.
Take here?
Yeah.
Now listen. How many pieces you have protecting this pawn? You got the king, and you got the queen. That's 2 pieces, right? How many pieces attacking? The king and the queen. Now, when you have 2 pieces attacking, whoever develops the assault, you know what assault means?
Yes.
What?
So when you're threatening the king.
Assault means you just attack. It's just straight attack. Okay, so that would lose. But take was right. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take this. You take back. So now I lost a piece.
Now take and check.
But now I got a check here. Check. It moves the knight. Then what I do, I castle on the queen side. What it does, it moves the rook here to protect this assault you got. You got 1, 2 attacking. Now you got 1, 2, 3 protecting. But this is pinned, so it's not actually 3. So when he moves there, I'll just go ahead and take. Take. Takes back with the rook. But now the rook is pinned. And then all it has is this. So I'm gonna, once it take back with the rook, I'm gonna move here to attack the rook that's constantly coming since this is pinned. Right? So I go, black goes and go here to relieve the pin. Because if it was here, it couldn't take back. Because it's got a lot of pieces attacking this. So it wanted to relieve the pin. So since it's relieving the pin, it goes this way. Right? So now, what he does, he goes for the check. He checks, takes back with the knight since the knight is relieved the pin. And here come the good move here. Check with the queen. Anybody see anything wrong with that move?
Oh, no, the knight can take.
The knight can take. Oh, boom! Just took the queen. Oh man, I lost the queen. Right? Checkmate. That's Paul Morphy, one of the great players. Don't show your face. All right. This is Chess Clinic. If your game is sick, make it well.